Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to the
slap at a
Week
base.
18 FanDuel Sunday recap. Let's go, boys. How are you feeling today?
Feeling
It's a pretty
great.
fun week.
It was.
Week.
I'm feeling much better now that I'm talking with you, Josh. Oh, hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, JL. I didn't even realize you were down there. Hello, down
Oh, me
there.
neither. I didn't realize I was down here either.
Well, my name is Josh. You can find me on Twitter at FYF
Hi,
Josh.
Josh.
I am joined
Josh.
by my beautiful friends today, JL Garofalo. How you doing, JL? You can find him at
Doing
Twitter
fantastic.
at FYF John Luke. Let's go.
Let's go. That's where you can find me.
And then we have Jay. We have Jay at GMenJ on Twitter. How you feeling?
I like how you and then we have Jay. Like you just disappointed.
we have Jay.
We also got Jay.
We have
I
him
guess.
too.
And that's pretty much how I feel about Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman. So
That's fair. That's how they feel about you.
I'm very close to changing my handle, so we'll see what happens there. If they bring back Dave Gettleman, my handle will no longer be GMenJ. It'll just be Jay.
Just Jay.
Just
if you
Jay.
can get it, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Whoever took off the screen, I can't share it.
Oh, I got you.
For the game tonight. All right, perfect. So we want to just talk about real quickly the game tonight. The Los Angeles Chargers do play the Las Vegas Raiders tonight. The Los Angeles Chargers are 3-point favorites according to the FanDuel Sportsbook. That makes the Raiders 3-point underdogs. It's a 48.5-point over/under. And you know what? I think that the game will end up being 27-23 with the Chargers coming out on top.
Okay.
That makes it a 50-point game. So if you had to make me choose, it's close. It's a 48.5-point over/under. I would take the over. What do you guys think about that?
What was the over/under?
48.5 points. I think it's going to be 27-23. The Chargers.
I think it's going to be 0-0 with a record-setting number of appeals, so they both make the playoffs.
Don't even bring that up. Don't even talk about that.
Would that be scoregami? That's had to have happened before, right? 0-0? No?
I don't know.
End of game? I don't think so.
No, it's never happened? That would be crazy.
I don't think so. I really
that would
don't
be
think
crazy.
So. I know there's like one game a
year
year that goes to halftime 0-0. So like,
okay, all right. Well, I'll take the over. I'll take the over in 48.5. I think that's a pretty good line.
Yeah. I'm with you guys. I think the Chargers win a close one, and I do expect a lot of fireworks tonight.
So it's Chargers -3, Jay. Let me put you on the spot. Would you take the Chargers or the Raiders +3?
I take the Chargers -3. I think they pull it off.
Okay. How about you, Jay?
Oh, I'll take the Raiders.
All right. So we got. You wanna put on the board?
Throw a bet.
You want to put on the board?
I don't.
Put on the board.
No.
Come on.
All right. We're gonna find something to put on the board.
Come on.
We are gonna find something to put on the board tonight. Simon
Yes,
in the chat saying he has a prediction. He thinks it's gonna be Chargers 31, Raiders 21. So he's taking that over, and he is taking the Chargers -3. It looks like, and he's a lot more confident than us.
I want to change.
But we have a lot of great people in the chat here. We have Albert. What's up, Albert? The Chargers and the Raiders should tie so they both make the playoffs. They're division rivals. It's like, man, could you imagine? It's Sunday night football. Like, could you imagine like America sitting down, waiting to enjoy their Sunday night football game, and it just kneels? Yeah, the NFL would be outraged. They would be outraged, right?
It would be so fun.
Like the anticipate, like everybody would hear about it, and then everybody's turning on the game. Like, are they actually going to do it the whole game? Then the whole crowd cheering every time there's a kneel. I think you'd be excited. You just got to look at it through the right.
It's like a strategy, right? It's a strategy. All it is, though.
I mean,
I can see it happening, but you're right, Josh. I feel like the NFL would be pissed. Like the league would be pissed.
Oh, it would be furious. Is that collusion somehow?
It could be.
Like there's got to be something in the rule book that says like two teams can't like communicate to like have us like I don't know, like right?
Communicate.
Yeah, I feel like you could do like a hey, like have a good game.
They couldn't just yell at every play.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think they talked about it, and Ian Rappaport, I think it was him, I saw an interview saying that he talked to somebody on one of the teams, and they were basically saying that if there was that gentleman's agreement, what's to keep one of the teams from breaking it and just
wink,
throwing a long touchdown.
Oh, right, well, we got the ball with 2 minutes left.
Right,
we haven't been playing all game. Oh, oops.
Right.
Whoopsie doopsie.
so yeah, I think it would be dumb. It's not going to happen. Like, right? It's not going to happen.
Probably not.
But so, I expect a good game though when it comes down to it tonight. Both these teams, it's still they have playoff seeding on the line, so it's not absolutely for nothing. So I hope it's a good game. I expect a good game. You guys ready to get into the actual games that happened today so far?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So the first game we're gonna go to here. Let me just hunt this one down real fast, guys. We got Cincinnati and Cleveland. All right, Cincinnati and Cleveland. Jay, how'd this game make you feel?
How did this game make you feel?
Well, not too much because honestly, it was a battle of the backups. They're the only starters that really played. Jamar Chase got in there just enough to break the Cincinnati Bengals single season receiving yards record, which, there's going to be a lot of conversation with all these records being broken. The extra game, did they really break it? Blah, blah, blah. But congratulations to him. He's had one heck of a rookie season. Brandon Allen and Case Keenum were the starting quarterbacks. Nick Chubb was in there a little bit. So there's really not much to talk about actual production on the game. So I'm thinking, let's look at both of these teams from a dynasty aspect. Joe Burrow, he did not play, resting up for the playoffs. They were locked into the playoffs. Just let's go right at it. Let's see where with his fantastic finish to the season, where for all of us, where he ranks from a dynasty standpoint in the quarterback rankings. So at least for me, and tell me if I'm wrong, there's three guys that I don't think there's any argument you can make for Joe Burrow over. That would be Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Kyler Murray. You guys agree there?
Yes.
Okay. So the next ones, although they're going to be tough, I think you can at least make an argument for Joe Burrow. So JL, we'll start with you. From a dynasty aspect, you're in a dynasty draft startup right now. Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert?
Joe Burrow.
Josh?
I would take Justin Herbert.
I'm going to go with JL. And I think that, at least for me, the thing is here, their talent, it's really, splitting hairs. It's very, very close. But I like Joe Burrow's weapons better. They're younger. Keenan Allen is 29 years old. Mike Williams is a free agent. Who knows if he's going to come back. So when it's that close, look at the weapons that Burrow has with Chase, with T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. I think Eckler and Mixon are a wash. So that's the tiebreaker for me. Josh, why do you go Herbert over Burrow?
It's really just what I've seen on the field so far in their career. I know Joe Burrow. Maybe, and this is a nod to Burrow a little bit, but coming into the season, I think a lot of people forget he was coming off a pretty horrific knee injury from last season. A lot of people were like, is he even going to be ready for the start of the season? He came out and I think at the beginning of the season, he did look a little timid, right? But what can we complain about the last few weeks? He won people fantasy football championships.
Yep, so he's the reason that belt is sitting right there. So I can't complain too much. I'm a little biased.
He's still young. They're both still young, but I actually think that Justin Herbert has still proven a little bit more on the football field to me. He's a little bit more of a runner. I just been a little bit more impressed with Justin Herbert overall.
That's fair. Super close.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next one. This one's going to hit home for you guys. Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow?
That's a great one.
Lamar Jackson for me.
So this is the first season we've seen Lamar Jackson actually, like, people have been saying it his entire career. They're like, oh, but he's going to get injured. He's going to get injured. It's not fair because he got injured on a play that wasn't like a design run or anything. He was scrambling out of the pocket a little bit, but like it was an injury that any quarterback in the NFL could have, including Tom Brady, who doesn't run at all. So like, I'm going to take Lamar Jackson still, but they are super close. They're neck and neck for me. The rushing upside of Lamar Jackson, what we've seen in the past, I'm going to go Lamar. And I expect better things for the Ravens in future seasons than what we saw this season.
Yeah, this one is extremely tough. And honestly, before we got on this show, I was fully expecting to say Joe Burrow. But the more I sit and think about it, I still slightly lean Lamar Jackson. Josh, you said it right, because of that rushing upside. I will say I am a little concerned with this is 2 seasons in a row that, he had that MVP season. And granted, he's had those flashes, but he hasn't had that consistent elite production that he had 2 seasons ago. So I want to see that before, I put him back into that top class with the Josh Allens, the Patrick Mahomes. But again, this is just splitting hairs between some guys. Dak Prescott or Joe Burrow?
That's where I'll draw my line. I'll actually go Joe Burrow over Dak Prescott. He's got the age. I think they're kind of in similar situations where Dak Prescott's coming off the horrific leg injury, kind of similar to Joe Burrow. So Dak Prescott's not running as much as well. He's getting an improved defense. I think Joe Burrow, they both have very good weapons, but I'll go Joe Burrow here.
Yeah, this one's very close for me. I will go Joe Burrow just because of the age. That's a deal breaker for me, or a tiebreaker. Sorry, not a deal breaker.
And this one is contingent on him being the starter going into next year, but let's assume that Jimmy Garoppolo is gone, Trey Lance, or Joe Burrow. And for the record, I'm Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. It's Joe Burrow. Yeah,
Joe Burrow. And Dak over Joe Burrow as well. I mean, over Trey Lance.
Okay, yeah, I was say, that's literally the opposite of what you just said. But
Dak kind of ends the tier for me, and then Trey Lance kind of begins a new tier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm, those Herbert, Jackson, Burrow, those guys are in a tier. Honestly, I would put Dak a little below those guys simply because of age and and upside. So let's go to the other side of the ball.
Before we go on to the next side of the ball, we got Simon here saying, "Handsome boys."
You're the handsome boy.
Stop it. Okay. You're handsome. My mom here saying, "Happy Sunday, YF FanDuel."
Hi, JL's mom.
Hi, mom. And Simon saying fireworks in the stadium, or are you just expecting them in general? I think that's for Jay because he said he's expecting fireworks.
Both.
And Gen X Civic saying rip Quandre Diggs. Yes, I believe he got a pretty bad injury today.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a shame.
And Albert in here saying 49ers just tied up the game.
Oh, man. What a game. What a game. I love it.
What a game.
I love a good
Excited
game.
to go over that one. And Simon said a badminton team just got kicked out of the Olympics for throwing matches. Losing was better for them than winning for the following rounds. Wow. People hate the game. And then Mr. Scamper saying Davis Mills or Trey Lance. Ooh. What do you guys
Trey
think?
Lance, and it's not
Trey
really
Lance.
even close.
I will say Davis Mills has definitely made things interesting. If you got him late in a rookie draft, he's worth hanging on to. Hopefully the Texans do the right thing with all the holes that they have. Go with build around him, and if he's not your quarterback of the future, draft him the following year.
Yeah.
Especially in a super flex league.
Yeah, specifically Superflex.
Yeah.
One quarterback, you're really not that interested.
Yeah, he doesn't have a ton of value.
My mind automatically goes to Superflex because that's what I play the most.
Oh no, I understand. I'm with you. We got to get the people. The people got to know about Superflex. Superflex is the way of the future. Let's go. Superflex.
Way of the future.
All right. Anything else on that Cincinnati Cleveland game, Jay?
Not really. There's not much to talk about with the backups pretty much playing the whole game.
Yeah. No,
before we go on to the next one, quick reminder, if you're watching this and you haven't already, hit that like button. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe as well to FanDuel. They got tons of content creators constantly putting out great content. And if you're on Twitch, hit that follow button. Hit that follow button because FanDuel is also putting out content on Twitch. Find them on any platform. Putting out great content, talking sports. It's great. And now they're actually live in New York, state of New York. You can go to FanDuel Sportsbook. I cannot wait until that's Maryland. I cannot wait until we can announce it's Maryland.
The same thing for North Carolina. I was going to say the same. Our buddy Jeff Astley, happy birthday, Jeff. He was on the FanDuel show with us Friday night. He put out there today that, congratulations, New York. Hopefully it comes to North Carolina soon. That's got to be so much fun.
I'm jealous, but all you folks in New York get to now go to FanDuel Sportsbook, place your bets. It's super fun. I'm jealous. I'm going to come up to New York.
Do it. It's worth it. Do it. All right, let's move on to our next game. We had the Baltimore Ravens play against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan, so obviously I'm a little bit disappointed. The Ravens needed to win this game, have the Jaguars win, also have the Patriots win, and then have the Raiders win. Fortunately, it doesn't really matter. The Steelers are going to win. The Steelers are rooting for the Raiders to win so they can get in the playoffs themselves. So Pittsburgh came into this game as 3-point underdogs. Actually, we were in Baltimore, and Baltimore was so Pittsburgh. It was a 3-point spread. That's what it ended up being. The Pittsburgh Steelers won 16-13. It was a 41-point over under. The total of the game was 29 points, so that under hit. Looking at the game, this was Ben Roethlisberger's last game. Goodbye, Ben. As a Ravens fan, watching them play Ben Roethlisberger over the years, got to give a nod to Ben. He's probably a Hall of Fame quarterback in my mind.
Probably, yeah.
2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Didn't have the best game in the world.
He the
Let's see if he gets in the playoffs.
Youngest QB to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think you're
playing
right.
a Super Bowl? I only know that because of our games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His rookie year. On the Pittsburgh Steelers side of the ball, we're going to take this to a dynasty context. I really want to talk about Chase Claypool. He's 23 years old. He's 6'4". He's a very big guy. We do not know who the quarterback will be for the Steelers next year. Ben Roethlisberger's already told us he's not going to be there. He plans on retiring. So let's talk about Chase Claypool's dynasty value. Not knowing who the quarterback for the Steelers will be, like I said, does his long-term value rise or fall going forward without Ben? Jay, what do you think?
Right now, it is falling. I think if he gets a competent quarterback that can throw it more than 5 yards, I think it will go up. I think he's a great buy low right now. Coming into the season, I feel, it was a lot like Juju last season, saying that he was on that borderline wide receiver 1, high end wide receiver 2. And then the production just wasn't there this year. So right now, I would say it's going down. As long as they are able to get a quarterback in there that's able to throw the deep ball, I would say it's going to rise. So I'm kind of riding the fence a little bit. But I think he's a great buy low in Dynasty. I think people are way down on him, especially with the antics. He's a young guy. Players are going to make mistakes on the field, and people overreact to that type of stuff. So I think he's somebody who I would be looking to acquire on the cheap.
Okay. What do you think, JL? Do you think his value is rising or falling?
I'm with Jay to a degree. We see this a lot. People like players' values dip because of stuff like this, personality stuff, and I feel like a lot of times it just doesn't happen the way people think. Right? Tyreek Hill for a while was his value dipped. There's been a bunch of players where we've seen that. Now, of course, you see it on the other side as well. Chase Claypool, it doesn't seem like it's an issue, like as much of an issue, I think, as people are bringing it out to be. I don't think his value is going up with Ben leaving, but it could. There's a lot of uncertainty, and like I always talk about with dynasty players, if there's talent, I'm going to look for talent plus uncertainty, where the uncertainty is hurting that player's value, because that tells me there's opportunity there. And so I think Chase Claypool is a great buy low candidate, like Jay's saying.
Yeah, so I actually I'm excited about his dynasty value going forward a little bit. I think it's improving. I think he needs someone to hit him with that deep pass, right? And maybe it's not there. But I think odds are, like, even if it's Jameis Winston, let's just say for an example, I'm not saying that's even possible, but let's just say it is. I think that's a plus. That's a
I would love that. That's right? A big plus. He's not afraid to chuck the ball.
I think his value is declining a little bit because, like, he only missed one game, and he's the 43rd overall wide receiver in both standard and PPR leagues. He was 24th in PPR, 16th in standard last season as a rookie. So I think he's a very talented receiver. So I like him. So real fast, let's do a name game with a couple of people. Fast fire. JL first, or Jay first. Jay first. Him or Tyler Lockett? I would take Tyler Lockett still, just for the win now aspect. Claypool, what do you think, JL?
I don't expect Russell Wilson to be back in Seattle, so that's why it's Claypool easily for me. So
I think I would go Claypool.
JL?
I would go Claypool.
Okay, Claypool. Hollywood Brown. I would go Hollywood Brown.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think I would
go
Hollywood Brown as well.
Yeah, same game. Rashad Bateman. I'll go Claypool over Bateman. That's really close. They're neck and neck for me.
I would go Rashad Bateman.
Okay, and Mooney, Darnell Mooney. I'll go Mooney.
Ooh, I'll go Claypool.
I will go Mooney.
And then last one, Rondo Moore. I'll go Claypool.
I'll go Claypool too.
I'm going to go Moore if Kirk does not re-sign. If Kirk re-signs with Arizona, then I will go Claypool.
So that was fun. So Chase Claypool. I think there's one other person over the course of this entire game that I really want to talk about. It's Naji Harris. In a dynasty league, Jonathan Taylor is obviously the number one overall running back, right? Oh, look at that. Is Naji Harris a first-round pick next year? Let's just talk about next year real fast. Let's just answer Albert's question there. I think he probably is. Back end first.
Without doubt, in my mind.
Yeah, back end first, I think, is where he belongs. Now, the QB narrative is certainly going to drive his value one way or the other. So be aware of that. But talent alone, I think they're going to feed him like they've been feeding him. So I think he deserves to be a first-round talent.
I think the quarterback situation really can't get any worse. Like Big Ben, he had some flashes, but the passing game wasn't there like it has been in years past. So, I am all over Naji Harris next year.
Yeah. So real fast in Dynasty, Jonathan Taylor's number one overall running back, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm glad we're on the same page there. I don't think
Yes.
too many people are differing there. But I think after him, it could be a lot of guys. It could be Najee Harris. So real fast, Najee Harris or Christian McCaffrey. I'll take Najee Harris.
Najee Harris.
Oh God. In Dynasty.
I know you like Christian McCaffrey. Yes, it's in Dynasty.
I would take Christian McCaffrey still.
Okay. How about Alvin Kamara? We'll do 3 more of these. So Alvin Kamara.
I'm going Najee.
1. I'll go Najee.
I would go Najee, yeah.
Javonte Williams. The darling of everyone's eye, Javonte Williams. We'll see if Melvin Gordon resigns with the Broncos, but he's a free agent.
I hope it happens simply to just see Twitter burn.
I'll go Najee Harris here.
I'll go Najee too.
We're all going Najee. And last one, this is going to be the toughest one, DeAndre Swift. I'm going to go Swift.
I'm going to go Harris.
I'm going to go Swift.
I'm going to go Harris. I'm going to go Najee
Harris?
I think I'm going to go Swift as well. It's really, really close, but as bad as to make the opposite point I was making earlier, the offense could get worse depending on the quarterback situation. Like if they go in with Mason Rudolph next season, then it's going to be really ugly. We've already seen Swift put up elite numbers with a terrible situation. So that's why I slightly lean Swift.
Yeah. So I tend to agree with you. I'm going to go Swift there, but it seems like maybe JL is Najee Harris, your second overall running back in Dynasty?
No, I took CMC above him.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think I would go Jonathan Taylor, CMC, and then Najee Harris.
Najee, yeah. For me, it'd be Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, and Najee Harris.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
All right.
Man, now, DeAndre Swift is younger than Najee Harris.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Najee Harris came out as an older rookie, for sure.
Yeah, he did.
On the Ravens side of the ball, they're going to be a completely different team than what we just saw next year. They're going to have Lamar back. They're going to have J.K. Dobbins back. I think J.K. Dobbins is a great running back. We just talked about Marquise Brown and Rashad Bateman. I think we're, for the most part, pretty on par with Chase Claypool's value. We'll take Hollywood Brown over Chase Claypool, right? I think we all said that.
Yep.
So Mark Andrews, he's either he's a top 3 tight end. He's the number 1 for a lot of people. He's number 1 dynasty tight end for me. How about you guys?
Wait, who is this?
Mark Andrews, number 1 dynasty tight end.
Yeah. Well, no, I think I would take Pitts over him.
Oh yeah, Pitts. I think that's the argument. It's Pitts or Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I think I'm still Pitts slightly over. But it's very close. It's a lot closer than it was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
I think you're absolutely correct.
Mark Andrews is my number 2, though.
How far do you guys have Kelsey?
Yep. Kelsey would be number 3.
He would also be my number 3, neck and neck with George Kittle.
Yeah,
when it comes down to it. So they're all a tier when it comes down to it for me, because George Kittle, he's probably the most talented one when it comes down to it. We talked about that recently. In my opinion, he's probably the most talented one, but he can't stay on the field. I'm nervous about what happens with him and Trey Lance together.
Yeah. We got who we have here in the chat. Sorry, I'm lost my windows here. Jacob Johnson saying, let's go 49ers. It is tied up in overtime. 24-24.
I saw they were in the red zone. 2nd and 7 in the red zone, overtime on the 7-yard line. That's a crazy game. Yeah. Oh man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm rooting for the Rams in that one. I'm sorry, Jacob. I'm sorry. I'm in a football pool, and I might win this week. I'll get $200 if I win this week, and I got the Rams in that.
Josh is loyal only to the money.
Nah,
I'm loyal to the money. All right, but that's pretty much all I wanted to go over in the Ravens Steelers game. And now we have the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Chicago Bears lost this game 17-31. JL, how'd this game make you feel?
This game was something. We had Andy Dalton
wasn't it?
Leading the Bears. Yep, it was something. We had David Montgomery with who had a pretty decent game, 20 carries, 72 yards, no touchdowns, unfortunately. The Vikings had a bit of a scoring spree in the fourth quarter here, but I don't know how much we can really take away from this game. Just starting on the Bears side of this, assuming that Andy Dalton isn't the starter next season, we got Justin Fields. David Montgomery, he's coming into what? This is his fourth year? How do you guys feel?
This is his third year he's playing.
Third year? So he's come full circle kind of from a fantasy perspective. How are you guys feeling about David Montgomery in fantasy? Where are you drafting him amongst running backs?
Going into next season?
Going into next season, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel more comfortable with him as my running back too. I think if you based on value, if you fade running back early, I could see him being a back end RB1. But I think you really don't have to worry about the volume because the guys behind him played well. Like Damian Williams, when he was healthy, he played okay. What's the other guy that came in and played well when he was injured?
Khalil Herbert.
Khalil Herbert played well,
Rookie,
and he still got the volume when he came back from injury. So I think the Bears, granted, there is going to be a new coaching system in there next year, so might not necessarily be exactly the same, but it seems like Chicago wants to use him as a bell cow. And if you can get a guy like that in fantasy, volume is king. So I like, he's put up numbers. I would rather RB2, but I could see as a back end RB1.
What about you, Josh? How are you feeling about David Montgomery?
I mean, I like David Montgomery. He's not going to be a running back 1 for me. It'll be a mid-level running back 2 when it comes down to it, just because of that offense he's in. I don't think I think Justin Fields, I'm hoping there's a new coaching staff there next year that actually...
They're very likely, maybe.
Yeah, I hope they create a playbook more around Justin Fields, which they're not doing right now at all. And it's a little frustrating. So I think this could be a completely different offense next season. I'm not 100% sure if that's a good thing or bad thing for David Montgomery. I think it leads to a little bit less volume. So I'm a little concerned about that, but maybe more efficiency. So when it comes down to it, he's probably just around running back 15, 16 for me next year.
So in Dynasty, where are you putting David Montgomery? Is he around that same area, that
Absolutely.
Running back 2? That's
right where I'll put him in Dynasty as well, because he's 24.
He's 20. Yes, you're right. He's 24.
He's not necessarily old, but he's not the youngest running back either.
So let's play a quick name game then with David Montgomery in Dynasty. In Dynasty formats, are you taking Cam Akers or David Montgomery? Jay?
I will. Yeah, that's a tough one.
I was hoping you were going Josh first.
I'll take David Montgomery.
Yeah, until you can see, Cam Akers still have the same explosion that he had last year. You got to go David Montgomery.
Gibson or Montgomery? Antonio Gibson or Montgomery?
I'm going Gibson.
There.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire or David Montgomery?
David Montgomery.
CH.
Ooh, so there's some dissenting opinions here then. What about Aaron Jones or David Montgomery?
David Montgomery.
David Montgomery. And the thing with tiebreaker for me with CEH is the offense that he's on. I think it's close, but I like Kansas City better.
Okay. And the last one, Elijah Mitchell or David Montgomery?
David Montgomery.
David Montgomery.
Yeah, all right. Some solid David Montgomery there. Otherwise, on the receiving side of this Bears offense, Darnell Mooney, 12 receptions on 16 targets, continues to be the target leader on this team. He had 126 yards, no touchdown. Allen Robinson was nowhere to be found. 2 receptions for 22 yards off 4 targets. How are you guys feeling about Allen Robinson going into this next season? Like Josh said, new coaching staff. Are you done?
I think Allen Robinson's a free agent, if I remember correctly.
He was franchise tagged last year, so
okay,
they
perfect.
could franchise tag him again. But I don't.
They're not. There's no way in
I feel like there's no way
they will franchise tag him.
So let's say that he is a free agent. Either. Let's say that he's going to a new team. You're doing a dynasty startup. Where are you drafting Allen Robinson? Are you hands off? Are you hopeful if he gets an offense where he can hopefully thrive?
I mean, he needs a new team when it comes down to it. I think he is a talented receiver. He's 28 years old. He's been good as long as he's getting volume. So I will be concerned if he goes into a situation where he's the number 2 wide receiver, but he's going to have a better season in my mind than he did this season. Not that he did anything this season. So yeah, the arrow's pointing up, but up from this is, still concerning.
I'm pretty much hands off unless I can get him at a value. Now, if he winds up in a better situation with a good quarterback where he's going to be the wide receiver 1, then I expect his ADP to jump up from where it would be if he did stay with Chicago or wound up as a wide receiver 2 somewhere. So most likely I'm going to wind up not drafting him in dynasty startups unless I'm able to get him at a discount.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We haven't seen it in so long. I just can't have trust in that. Before we go on to the other side of this ball, Mr. Scamper's got a question for us: Eckler or Monty? I'm guessing
Eckler.
this is
Dynasty or
same as
redraft. I'm gonna take Eckler.
Yep.
I'm gonna take it too.
Same.
I thought
And
this
then
was
Albert
a
said,
question for tonight.
Monty a third round pick. And just to give you some context, we did a mock draft on our show early 2 weeks ago, and it was a super flex draft. So that's there's a lot more quarterbacks in those first couple of rounds, but David Montgomery went with the seventh pick in the fourth round in a 12-team league. So yeah, in a one quarterback league, David Montgomery is probably a third round pick.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that is fair. I would
have a hard time taking him there,
Yeah,
but
I think I would too.
That's where you're going to have to take him.
Yeah, probably.
So on the other side, on the Vikings side of this ball, not much to talk about apart from the wide receivers. All three of these guys, Justin Jefferson, Amir Smith-Marset, and KJ Osborne, all got a touchdown. Justin Jefferson led the team in receiving. Amir Smith-Marset, he's a rookie this year, and a lot of people were touting him coming into the season as a potential like dark horse rookie, someone who might blow up that people aren't expecting. Is there any interest in stashing a Amir Smith-Marset going into next season from you guys? Obviously, Adam Thielen is out. He's on IR currently, so he's not coming back this season, but he'll most likely be back next season. How do you guys feel about Amir?
I mean, I think he's fine. He's somebody, I don't mind, on my taxi squad or just somebody just sitting on the end of my bench, but he's not somebody that I'm actively looking to acquire or anything like that. I just think that, especially with expecting new coaching staff, I expect some personnel turnover as well. And you just don't know what this team's going to look like. So a guy like that, do I mind having him as a lottery ticket at the end of my bench? Absolutely. That's fine. But I wouldn't give up anything of value to get him.
What about you, Josh?
Yeah. I mean, deep dynasty league, sure. Throw him on the bottom of your bench, see what happens, see if Adam Thielen, gets out of there. But with Justin Jefferson there, I mean, again, he had 3 targets, 3 receptions, 103 yards, and a touchdown. 3 catches being his best game before that was 1 catch for 7 yards. So I can't rely on this in week 18 of the NFL season.
That's fair. All right, that's all I got.
That is all you got. So we will move on to our next game. We are going to go to the New York Giants versus the Washington. Jay, I'm sorry.
I feel like I say this every week. We can just skip that.
I know we could. Oh, Seattle Seahawks won. I had them in my pick 'em. That's what I like to see.
I'm glad too, because that helps the Giants draft pick, because the Jets have Seattle's draft pick. So they were battling for that 5, 6, 7 spot. So the Giants, I think they might have the 4th overall pick with Seattle winning.
Crazy.
So
they're going to blow it.
If Dave Gettleman's there, we're going to blow it. There's no question. Speaking of blowing it, the New York Football Giants, I'm ashamed to even claim as my favorite team right now because it is just ugly. Did you guys see?
No, I tried not to watch this game.
Yeah, well, in their own side of the field, 2 out of the 4 plays within the 10, they ran a QB sneak.
I saw one that was like a 3rd and 9.
3rd and 9 on 2nd down and 3rd down, they ran a QB sneak. So that's the epitome of just giving up. So there's really similar to the game earlier. There's not a whole lot to take away from a fantasy perspective. Jake Fromm was in there. Threw for 100 yards and a touchdown. Darius Slayton caught a touchdown. Neither Kenny Golladay or Kadarius Toney caught a single touchdown this season. So, Saquon Barkley, 11 rushes, 30 yards.
Kenny Golladay had a great game, though. It was 3 catches for 22 yards.
That's pretty much what you're going to expect from Kenny Golladay right now, unfortunately. I gotta say this. There's really not much to say, but when it comes to,
are we just staying? Like, is it even worth like putting any belief in Giants players next season?
No,
assuming that they don't completely revamp.
The only thing I'll say is if Saquon Barkley falls far enough, I think he could be a value. I'm not taking him as a running back 1, not taking him as a high end RB2, but I mean,
Saquon or David Montgomery just next
You
season.
took the words
Saquon.
right out of my mouth. You took the words right out of my mouth, and I'm with you. I would.
JL gave it a confident Saquon, huh?
Saquon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no doubt with me.
Next season. Yeah.
I don't know, guys. We'll see.
It's a little different.
No,
in
Close.
Dynasty.
They're close. No, they're close. I guess I'll say Saquon right now, but
It is.
I don't know.
Close.
I don't know.
All right, let's jump that into a little bit of a name game. 2022, this upcoming up season only, not Dynasty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley or Ezekiel Elliott?
Just this next
seems to
season.
be getting more and more of a
2022
role every year.
I'll take
Zeke's the safer pick, probably.
Whoa! I'll take Zeke.
Right now, I lean Zeke.
Ooh, God, that sucks.
In Dynasty, I
Dynasty,
lean
Saquon. Yeah.
But 20. Yeah, I'm with you. You got to go Zeke.
Maria said, "Get out of here with the Saquon hate."
I love Saquon.
It's not a hit.
Saquon.
Well, it is a little bit him. It's a little bit him, but mostly
I've got my little Saquon right here. He needs to step it up. But Saquon Barkley or Josh Jacobs?
Next season, Barkley.
That makes sense.
Backups.
I'll take Barkley.
Bosh Backups.
I'm
I
going.
don't feel good about it though.
Mr. Scamper saying Galladay gave up a catchable deep ball too. That is brutal. And FanDuel saying congrats to the Giants' fourth-string quarterback having more rushing yards than Saquon Barkley today. Yes.
If that doesn't sum up the
Shout
Giants
out
season,
Jake Fromm.
then I don't know what does. It's just ugly.
Hopefully they improve that offensive line. Like that's all I gotta say. Obviously they need help.
That's
like,
what Dave
everywhere.
Gettleman was supposed to do. Get some hog mollies in there and
hog mollies. What the heck does that even mean?
Like honestly, I'd never thought I'd say this in my life, but man, dude, they just want Daniel Jones back.
yeah. Please, for the love of God, get Daniel back.
Please give me Daniel Jones.
Maria's saying I don't want him to leave the Giants, but he does need a better team. That's it brings up a good point. When is his contract up?
I think
he's got to be coming up, right?
This year.
He's got one more year.
Let me take a look real quick.
So this is his fourth season. He's going to his fifth season. Did they take his fifth-year option? I'm not 100%
I don't believe
sure.
they did. Let me take a look.
So if they didn't, then he's a free agent after the season.
They must 2022, he's still on the books, so they must have taken his fifth-year option.
Okay.
And then 2023, he's an unrestricted free agent.
Okay.
So you at least get another year of him, hopefully.
Yay.
We have a question in the chat.
I wouldn't
Barkley
mind.
Or Travis Etienne.
Oh, this hurts my heart. It is Saquon.
I still gotta go Saquon. Yeah.
I love Travis.
And then I'll give you one more too.
So much
Miles
crap
Sanders.
About Saquon, but like we're having trouble finding people that will
that you take
Saquon, huh?
Yeah, but I think the thing is, like before this season, it was Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley or Dalvin Cook. Now, you're going 2 or 3 tiers down.
I don't think that he has lost a step in the grand scheme of things. I think he had a bad season. I think that ankle injury is something that has nagged him all season. And in the offense that he is, there's just little upside. And so, as a talent, I'm not that down on Saquon Barkley. I think he'll be a great value in Dynasty. But the question is when. When is he going to?
A little bit, in my opinion. A little bit.
It's possible.
He doesn't look like the best running back in the league right now.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And that's where I think the injury is maybe causing a lot of that. But we will see because it's possible.
Yes, exactly. I know that's the thing. Like I'm not sure. Like, is it the injury? Is he going to come back strong next season? He's just like the old Saquon. Then he's going to exceed draft expectations. But because there's this question, like you're going to maybe get a value, and maybe you just take if he plays like he has the last 5, 6, 7 weeks, then you're going to get a bust. You're going to have a bust.
You get bit in the butt. That's what you're going to
get. Exactly.
On the other side of the ball, Terry McLaurin. Even though he's had a disappointing season overall, he becomes the first Washington player to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons since 1994-1996. I guess they're
94, good year.
Henry Elliott. Were you guys even born then? I mean,
I was born.
Yeah, I was 2 years old.
I was born exactly then.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
That's why I said it was a good year.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Scamper saying Saquon or Elijah Mitchell. I love when you guys are coming in with the name game questions for us. I'm going Saquon.
Yeah, I gotta go Saquon.
Josh.
Saquon.
Don't sound so excited about
Saquon.
it.
Saquon, I'm betting on him still being a generational talent.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he's got to get healthy too. He was banged up this year too. There wasn't much to play for. That I guess I can always say it can't get worse, but I feel like I've said that for the past 5 or so years, and it somehow
And it feels like
continues
it's
to
getting
get
worse.
worse. Yeah. I mean, I honestly think the Giants are the worst situation in football right now. It's as much as it hurts to say. Like,
They're in the conversation.
yeah. But the Washington football team, Taylor Heineke, 120 passing yards, not much else. Antonio Gibson had a good game, 21 rushes for 146 yards and a touchdown. He chipped in a catch as well. But Terry McLaurin, like I said, has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, and he's a guy I want to talk about from a dynasty perspective. 4 catches, 93 yards. Let's just jump right into it. Terry McLaurin is a top blank dynasty wide receiver. So where would you rank him? Top 12?
Terry McLaurin for me would be a top 15 dynasty wide receiver, and I'd probably put him at 15.
Yep, I'm right there with you, Josh. I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah. It's
top 15. I put him at 15.
Yeah, and the conversation starts on, maybe you're getting into this, Jay, but it's like him, Terry McLaurin, or DeAndre Hopkins, who's a little bit older for me. DeAndre Hopkins is 29 years old. Yeah, exactly. Terry McLaurin, worse situation. But actually, at the same time, like the Arizona Cardinals, they spread the ball around. What we saw this year, even when DeAndre Hopkins was out there, he was a touchdown threat on any play, but he wasn't getting the same targets, receptions, and yards that he was used to getting previously in his career. So I probably lean Terry McLaurin over DeAndre Hopkins.
I do too. Just age-wise in Dynasty, I would. What about Waddle?
I got to put Waddle over him.
Yeah, definitely Waddle.
Yeah, I would just put Waddle over him.
Yeah.
DJ Moore?
DJ Moore's in a really close one.
I'm going McLaurin.
I'll go McLaurin.
I would go Moore.
I think that's fair. I'm glad you went Moore, because they're super close in my mind.
Is Debo in the top 15 at this point?
Debo's got to be above all these guys at this point for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be. I think he's still young, so
he should get quarterback eligibility after today as well. Possibly, who knows?
Quarterback eligibility. Yes.
Make him eligible for every position at this point.
Every position.
I think he's a better tight end than 90% of the tight ends out there. Whatever. Like,
easy.
So I'm all in on Debo. He's a top 10 wide receiver for me.
Yeah,
top 10. So yeah. Was that everything on that game, or was there something
that's
else?
pretty much that's pretty much it. I sure hope so, Albert. I think there was talk that he was guaranteed his spot coming into, what game was it? Like 4 or 5 weeks ago, they were saying that they were going to hang on to him. But as bad as it's went, and that call to go for it, to do 2 quarterback sneaks back to back within your own 10-yard line, there's such an uproar from the fan base. There's no way that they can keep Joe Judge. I pray that they fire him. I don't see how they can bring him back.
I mean, obviously, you have a little bit more inside knowledge on this, and you're around the team more. But I feel like there's a way. I feel like there's a chance. I don't know.
And
I'm not normally
hear it. I'm not normally the type, like, it's only his second season. I hate when teams continue to have bad seasons, and then they don't give a coach time to really get their system in, get their players in. But I was excited after last season, but the way that this season has just went off the rails, I think it's time for Judge to go. We have to clean house. We have to, get a GM in here to let him pick who he wants, and start this long rebuild process.
Well, I hope you get your Christmas wish, to be honest with you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I truly do. I truly do. But let's get into our next game here. All right, guys. We had the Houston Texans playing the Tennessee Titans. And what the heck, guys? This was a surprising one, if you ask me. The Houston Texans made it a close one throughout the game. Actually, at the beginning of the game, it looked like the Titans were going to dominate. It didn't look like the Texans had a chance. The Titans looked like they should be the number 1 seed in the AFC. Not that beating the Texans should be a great barometer for that. But, hey, they ended up winning the game. This was a close one throughout. Like I said, at the end of the game, the Titans will now be the number 1 seed in the AFC. They will have home field advantage in the AFC playoffs and will have the lone bye in the conference. The Titans came into this game, though, 10.5-point favorites, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook. This game was in Houston.
Texans covered.
Texans covered. I mentioned my office pool I'm doing, my football pool I'm doing, and took the Texans in this one. Took a lot of the underdogs plus points. It was a 42.5 point over under. They well covered that, scoring at 53 points total. So the Titans, like I just said, they're going to have the number 1 seed. They're going to get the bye, and it looks like they're going to have Derrick Henry back, who I know they've been missing, the man in their offense. Do we think that this team is a legit title contender? Or how about, let's not even say title contender. Do we think they're a legit contender to get to the Super Bowl in the AFC? JL, what do you think there?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think they're especially with the bye, that shoots them up in terms of their chances on making it to the Super Bowl. 538 has them gives them an 11% chance to win the Super Bowl, which is third amongst teams. They have Packers at 26%, Chiefs at 21%, Titans at 11%. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I absolutely think that they have the possibility to win the Super Bowl, and I think that they very well could contend and get there.
What did you say the Chiefs odds were?
The Chiefs were at 21% according to 538.
21. And then the Titans were what again?
Titans were at 11%.
11%. Okay. Are you taking the Chiefs over the Titans?
Yeah.
Because the Titans are going to be at home if they do end up playing the Chiefs.
Yeah, they will. I think the Titans have been beatable, even with Derrick Henry earlier in the season. They've shown that they've been beatable. Chiefs too. You gotta call a spade a spade. The Chiefs have also been beatable, but I think that they feel a little bit more sturdy than the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the Patrick Mahomes factor for me when it comes down to it. It's like whatever the game script, whatever is happening in the game, as long as you have a chance to you have a chance because you have Patrick Mahomes, right?
Right.
Because he can do anything. He's amazing when it comes down to it. I'm a little jealous. He's a superstar.
Yeah.
But I agree, I do think that the Titans are a legit title contender. I think they could make the Super Bowl. I think they could win the Super Bowl. If everything's firing on all cylinders for this team, they can beat any team in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you. Especially if they get Derrick Henry back.
Especially, they need Derrick Henry back, though, in my opinion. Yes. They're going to have a tough time if they don't have Derrick Henry back. If Derrick Henry's back,
looked good.
He's looked good, but he is no Derrick Henry. Deontay Foreman, 21 carries, 69 yards. He had a catch for 15 yards. So a fine game. I like the rotation they've been using with Hilliard. He's been involved. He's looked good as well. And another stud that they have is AJ Brown. All right. AJ Brown's another stud that they have. I love what I've seen out of him since he's been getting healthy. So you got to keep him in mind. Ryan Tannehill is also playing pretty well. Now, let's talk about A.J. Brown's dynasty value real fast. Personally, for me, he's moving up my dynasty rankings. He's probably my number 4 wide receiver in dynasty right now, guys. My number 4 wide receiver in dynasty. But I think you can consider him after, I'll say the first 2. You could consider him number 1 if you really wanted to. But we got Justin Jefferson. We got Jamar Chase. There are 1 and 2s, right?
Yeah.
Jay, do you agree? Look, you look good, Jay. You look
fantastic.
Looking sexy. Yeah. That was a good face.
There we go. I froze there for a second. I think I'm good.
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase,
back?
number 1 and 2 dynasty wide receivers.
No question.
Okay, cool. CD Lamb's my number 3. I think this is where the conversation starts.
Ooh,
we're talking about AJ Brown's dynasty value, and for me, he's my number 4 wide receiver in dynasty. It would go Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CD Lamb, AJ Brown, then Tyreek Hill. So that would be my top 5.
Say it one more time, Josh.
My top 5 would be Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CD Lamb, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill. And then I think you consider here inside your top 5, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, DK Metcalf, maybe Jalen Waddle, but I think that's a little crazy at this point for me. A little too much.
Yeah.
So where's AJ Brown fit in for you guys?
I think I would take him above CD Lamb.
Oh, really?
I think I would. Yeah, I think I would. God, that is close though. He's 2 years younger than
Tyreek Hill's 27. Devontae Adams is 29. Stephon Diggs is 28. DK Metcalf's 24. AJ Brown's 24. CD Lamb 22. Jamar Chase 21. Justin Jefferson 22. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I
pick up any of those ages you just said whatsoever.
This top 3, Jefferson, Chase, and Lamb, they're really young. AJ Brown and DK Metcalf, they're pretty young. Hill, Adams, and Diggs, they're getting older.
I think I would give the edge to Lamb actually. Now that I think about it a little bit more,
I think my top 5 is the exact same as yours, Josh. I think
Jefferson, Chase, Lamb, Brown, Hill.
It's Jefferson, Chase, or a step above than Lamb and AJ Brown.
Oh, and Cooper Kupp. We got to mention Cooper Kupp here.
He's not in the top 5 for me.
He's going to be in a lot of people's top 5, I bet, even for
Yeah, I
Dynasty.
just
Could be.
can't.
I'm taking Devontae Adams over him.
I would too. I'll take Cooper Kupp over Stephon Diggs.
I think I would too.
So there we go. There we go.
Same age is.
Yeah. So, all right. And paired with who we believe for a long time, Matthew Stafford, who they have a connection.
Yes.
It looks like
A long time, though. I mean, Matthew Stafford's getting up there in age. I mean,
like
compared to Josh Allen.
33, 34. I mean, just like what we've seen, like Aaron Rodgers, just all the quarterbacks, even like Ben Roethlisberger, he's 39 years old. Matthew Stafford doesn't look like he's showing signs of slowing down, really. So once I start seeing the signs, I'll start having more concern, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you, Josh.
Debo can absolutely be in this conversation. He has a little bit too much injury risk, and just like the way he's used is a little concerning. But I love Debo Samuel. He's in my top 10.
You're taking Cooper Kupp over Debo, right, Josh?
Yes.
Jay, are you taking Debo or Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, I think you gotta take Cooper Kupp. It's close, but I think you gotta go.
He's 25 compared to Cooper Kupp, who's 28.
28, yeah.
It is very close. I would take Kupp. I would take Kupp at the end of the day. But they're back to back in my rankings.
Kupp or DK Metcalf? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm making this conversation.
I would take DK.
Okay. I don't know.
It's tough. That's because the situations make it really, really interesting.
I might take Kupp.
I think I lean Kupp just because I don't expect Wilson to be back in Seattle.
Josh. Yeah.
Give it up. You got
I think I'm taking Kupp.
Could
T. Higgins be in this conversation? Can I force T. Higgins?
But I'm taking all the guys we talked about so far over T. Higgins. But then
probably am too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think maybe Stephon Diggs is probably my lowest out of all these guys we're talking about. And I'm still taking.
I'm excited to do some dynasty rankings.
Oh, me too. Let's get at it. Let's get at it soon. ASAP, JL. All right.
All right.
Texans side of the ball. There's not much to talk about. I'm sorry, guys. There's Davis Mills, though, who continues to impress the hell out of me. And I was just doing this dynasty ranking short, ranking my top 5 rookie quarterbacks. And I was tempted to put Davis Mills over Zach Wilson as my number 5 rookie quarterback. I could do it. He's my number 6 rookie quarterback right now, but I was freaking tempted. Guys,
300-yard game.
Was I crazy? Touchdowns? Was I crazy for considering that? Should I have done that?
I don't know. I don't know, Josh. I don't know what the deal with Davis Mills is. If he feels like a trap, honestly. And in the dynasty context, he feels like a trap.
But he's playing so well.
He is playing well. Number 3 quarterback on the week. Number 3 quarterback on the week in fantasy.
He just looks kind of good doing it. He's looked better than Zach Wilson has, right?
Yeah. Davis Mills or Patrick Mahomes.
Crazy if you're considering it, no. But you can't do that at this point. It's too small of a sample size. Zach Wilson dealing with injury. I think you got to give him another season before you can make a move like that.
That's fair. I'm still taking Zach Wilson. Like I said, I ranked Zach Wilson ahead of him, but I was tempted. How about another quarterback? Let's say you're in a dynasty superflex league. All right, you're in a dynasty superflex league. Would you draft Davis Mills at this point or Jameis Winston? like we kind of said in the past, I believe actually Jameis Winston's contract might be up. Let me vet that for you guys. But right now, let's say
I believe it is. I think he is a free agent.
Let's say with the Saints, you're taking Davis Mills or Jameis Winston. He signs another 1-year contract.
Still think I'm going Jameis because he's young enough. He's still only 28 years old. Actually, he just turned 28 on January 6th. So happy belated birthday, Jameis. Hope it was a good one. Long term, Davis Mills probably has more value, but Jameis Winston still has sky high upside. We've seen it. He can sling the ball. He can be a QB1. I don't see that for Davis Mills. I think he can be a solid. Best case scenario for Davis Mills is probably a solid QB2 flex starter, super flex starter. Best case for Jameis Winston for fantasy, he could be a top 5 option in the right system. Yeah. So
top 5. I'm hesitant to say top 5, just knowing what the top 5 are right now. But
best case scenario,
12? Sure.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going Jameis.
I would go Jameis. It is close, but I would go Jameis.
I'm probably going Jameis too. And really, real fast, one more name, him or Jared Goff.
Ooh,
I guess I'll lean Jared Goff.
I will go Goff. Yeah, I will go Goff over both of those guys.
Yeah.
27 years old.
Jay looks like he's considering it. He is considering it.
Yeah, I'm going Davis Mills.
Davis Mills. Oh, you love him.
Mills over Goff.
Yeah, you love Davis Mills.
I love Davis Mills.
Don't tell
Dark
anybody.
Alron saying I am down by 24 with one player left and he has none left. Who's your player? Let us know. Josh, will give you a percentage of how likely you are to win. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll absolutely give you a percentage. Oh, Albert, I almost asked that one. I was out.
Sam Darnold or Davis Mills.
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills.
I hate them both. I'll take Davis Mills. You know, Sam Darnold's only a year older than Davis Mills. Did you guys know that?
No,
he's only a year older. Sam Darnold was really young when he came out. Like really
24.
Young.
24
yes.
compared to Davis Mills, 23. That is tough. That's a good question, Albert.
Yeah. But I guess, hey, we found the line though, right? When it comes down to it. So
Jordan Love
or
Davis Mills?
Able to Davis Mills.
Davis Mills.
Even though Jordan Love may be the starting quarterback for the Panthers. Maybe.
It could be.
It sounds like they're trying to get Aaron Rodgers back in there. Let's move on to our next game. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. I think for many, this might have been the most exciting game of the week. Not because it was a close game or anything. So many playoff implications. I think I remember coming into this game, the Jacksonville Jaguars were like plus 670 odds. It was crazy betting odds. Like no one was thinking the Jaguars going to win this game because the Colts still had something to play for and they were playing to win this game and the Jaguars pulled it out. Wow.
They absolutely pulled it out.
Yes.
Let me pull up the odds here. What were the odds in this game?
FanDuel
Sportsbook had the Colts favored at by 14 points.
Yeah.
And the total was at 43.5 points. 43.5. So it was an under. Hit the under, but the Jaguars obviously covered because they won. They won. So this game
they covered it, huh?
They well covered. Carson Wentz played kind of poopily. Jonathan Taylor had a pretty kind of poopily. Jonathan Taylor had just a mediocre game. I feel like we've seen this last few weeks. They maybe just not trying to wear him out too much for their playoff run. It's a possibility, but he still had 15 carries for 77 yards in this game. Michael Pittman, he's back with 6 receptions on 7 targets and 64 yards and a touchdown. T.Y. Hilton has been a pretty solid piece in this offense. Not so much for fantasy, but just in general. This game, he just had 2 receptions, 39 yards on 5 targets. But so I don't think there's much to take away from the Colts side of this ball. To be honest, on the Jacksonville side, Trevor Lawrence had a pretty decent game. He looked pretty all right. 23 completions on 32 attempts, 223 yards, and 2 passing touchdowns. Dare Ogunbowale, 11 carries for 30 yards. Not very impressive.
You want to, Jo.
I don't. But Marvin Jones, he had 7 receptions on 8 targets, 88 yards, and a touchdown. And second receiver on this team was Laviska Shenault, who I think is probably the main one who I want to focus on in this game, because I think there's an interest. Laviska Shenault is an interesting case. He's an interesting case coming to the season, very highly hyped, very young, very talented. He had Trevor Lawrence coming in, who many touted as a generational talent, the best quarterback in his class. Laviska Shenault has not quite panned out this season. I think a lot of that has to do with the offense, but you can make the argument that other wide receivers were doing better than him in that same offense. So how do you guys feel about Laviska Shenault going into next season? Where do you have any hope that Laviska Shenault is able to turn this around? Hopefully, along with the changes in the team. Jay, why don't we start with you, our resident Visca truther?
Yeah, everybody knows if you follow me on Twitter how much I love Laviska Shenault. The thing for me is he's the type of player that should be used like Deebo Samuel's being used in San Francisco. And the hype was never, I think Laviska Shenault's going to be a top 10 wide receiver. He just got a very unique skill set that could be used all over the field. And if he's used the right way, he could really put up some solid production. And I thought Urban Meyer would use him in like the Percy Harvin type role that he used. So I can't quit Laviska Shenault, but it also depends on the cost. And that's the same, fantasy's all about value. If you're drafting him as a wide receiver 2, heck, if you're drafting him as a wide receiver 3, that's too high.
That's too high. Yeah, just wide receiver 3 period is too high.
I mean, you're looking at a lottery ticket right now, and I think I could see him, if he's used the right way, producing back end wide receiver 2 type of numbers. But right now that's best case scenario. And that's if somebody comes in and uses him like the Swiss Army knife he can be.
So, Josh, how do you feel about Laviska Shenault?
I'm in line with Jay. Like he's not a wide receiver 3. He's probably not a wide receiver 4 for me when it comes down to it. He's not in the top 45 wide receivers. I don't think that I would draft.
He's a dart throw at this point.
Do you think that it's
probably not in
talent,
the
or do you
top
think
50
it's
wide receivers I would draft?
Okay, you could stop. You can stop.
I'm looking at a list right now, and there's so many people are just surpassing him, and
that's the truth.
Do you guys think it's talent, or do you think it's circumstance? Do you think he's just not as talented as many people?
I think if he was talented, I would have liked to see this new coaching staff try to get him involved more, but he's just not. You could blame Urban Meyer earlier in the season, and maybe it's like the new coaching staff came in and they just, they weren't prepared for this situation. But he's done worse, since Urban Meyer's left. He hasn't done better. I'm nervous for Laviska at this point.
So why don't we'll throw a couple names out here.
Okay.
Laviska Shenault or Michael Thomas in Dynasty?
Michael Thomas.
What about Laviska?
At least I've seen it from him before,
This maybe is a dumb question, and sorry, Truly Epic, if you're here, but Hunter Renfrow or Laviska Shenault?
I'll take Hunter Renfrow. For sure.
Van Jefferson?
I'll take Van Jefferson.
What about Kenny Golladay?
That's one I almost wanted to ask Jay just randomly.
I
don't know. That's a tough one. Kenny Golladay is actually a little older too. He's like 28.
28. Laviska's 23.
Kenny Galladay's locked into a big contract, which I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing. They might try to get out of that somehow.
I hope they get out of it somehow.
So, but in the meantime, they're going to try to get him involved again next year. I've got to assume.
You've seen, like you said with Michael Thomas, you've seen Kenny Golladay put up the numbers. You haven't seen it yet from Laviska. So as much as it hurts, I got to go Kenny Golladay.
Okay. All right.
That's like the line for me, but I guess I'll probably take Kenny Golladay, but then there's Kadarius. I'll take Kadarius Toney over both these guys. So
yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
What about Corey Davis?
I go Viska.
Viska over Davis.
Viska over Davis.
Thank you for giving me one that I could say Viska.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Thank you, J.O. I appreciate that.
What about Jarvis Landry?
Jarvis Landry just had a good game. I'll probably go Viska in a dynasty league just for maybe the upside shot.
He turns it around.
Yeah.
How about in the same game? People forgot about him in a dynasty league. Him or DJ Chark.
I almost said it for you, Josh.
I'll take DJ Chark. I think
I'll take Laviska.
I'm going Viska. And
Mr. Chark's going to be out of Jacksonville. He's not. His contract's up. So
Mr. Scampers has a good one here too. Redraft and dynasty, Judy or Shenault.
Judy.
I'd go Judy with both. It's not even quite close.
Yeah, Judy is worlds ahead.
Yeah. Was that really all from this game?
That's all. Yeah, FanDuel saying JT running back 1 in dynasty. Absolutely, he is.
Yeah, it's not. He's in a tier by himself. I think you can make a case for it.
Yeah, he should be the 101 in all formats, in my opinion.
Age, system.
I'll fight with you there, Jay. If you wanted someone to fight with, I'm your man.
Let's go.
He usually does, yeah.
Because I'm in a super flex league.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You said all formats.
You're right, and I misspoke. I misspoke.
You said it. And then you started cracking your knuckles like you wanted to fight me about it.
I mean, you're the one who said let's fight. So
I want an apology. That's all I want.
Josh, I'm not sorry.
Wow.
Now I did not mean Superflex.
No.
Superflex, I would go Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen.
I think you can make an argument for JT even in Superflex. So it's really not.
And that says it.
Albert saying, what if the Jags hire Bill O'Brien? That would be tragic. His butt chin would.
Oh, and they're
suck the
talking
whole-
about doing
whole
it
city
too.
inside of it.
I hope they go
Whatever
with
they
Byron
do-
Leftwich. I would love to see a creative offensive mind like Byron Leftwich go with Trevor Lawrence. I think that's the hire to make.
Don't
Whether they
let
do it or
Bill
not-
O'Brien be your GM. That's
No.
whatever you do.
He's
Don't let
not
him make
good at it.
transactions.
Don't let Bill O'Brien be employed by your team.
That's
Keep
fair
the
enough.
butt chin away from your team. Ooh,
Butt
that's
chin.
a
Amon-Ra
good
St.
one.
Brown for sure.
FanDuel,
Amon-Ra.
Yeah, I'm
FanDuel,
going Amon-Ra.
I would go. I think I would go. Oh God, I don't know. I guess I'll go. I'll go Claypool just to have a different one than these guys.
That's great.
That is very close. That's very close. Jeff saying fight yard fantasy night. I love it. Yes. And Maria said, okay, how many leagues did you guys make it in the championship in / how many were you in this year? So let's see whose percentage is the greatest. So how many were you in versus how many did you win?
Don't make me do this.
Dang it. I left my notebook downstairs.
I would
not
prefer
figuring
not.
Oh yeah. Josh has got like 1,000 leagues.
I'm in 20 leagues.
I won one championship and I was in 2.
I'm in 20-ish,
You're in
but I've got a
2
couple of free leagues. I got a couple of
Are you in 2
charity. I got a
championships?
couple that I co-manage. So I was in 4
fucking charity.
championships and I won 3 of them. So
That's pretty good.
I
Because
won
the-
one. I
the
won
one
money
that
on the
only
season.
that matters to me is that belt right there. My home league. That's the main one that matters. I
That's
could
fair.
lose
That's fair.
every game in the rest of my leagues, as long as I have that belt.
All right.
I lost.
I can't believe the
So-
Lions won this
the
game.
championship.
The Detroit Lions against, you know what? Say what you want about the Lions, but Dan Campbell, how can you not like the guy? Like, these guys play hard for him. May not be the smartest guy in the room, but you know what? He's passionate.
Whoa!
Hey, why are you insulting the man's
intelligence?
Who else is in the room? You don't know.
I mean, if my son
it's
and
you
him
in the
were
room with
same
him.
room-
Oh, I don't know who
Whoa.
was directed at.
Whoa,
It was me or Jay.
Whoa,
You
yeah.
were trying to fight me earlier, Jay. I said I was going to eat you back. All right.
It's all right. You know I love you.
I love you
Jared
too, bro.
Goff put up decent numbers. 238 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown. He continues to just finish off the season. 8
love
catches, 109 yards, a touchdown. Still think I gotta go Michael Pittman there, but it's
Yeah, Jeff asking
it's
Michael
a lot
Pittman
closer
or
than it
Amon-Ra
was.
St. Brown. And
Yeah.
guessing in
I'd go Michael
Dynasty.
Pittman.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah, regardless, I'll go.
Yeah,
Pittman myself.
Yeah, I would go Pittman too.
You got to
But,
see
you
what
know-
he does once Hawkinson's back. I know Swift's back in the lineup, but and they're going to bring in someone. They got to. I think there's going to be another receiving target.
yeah.
in this
And
offense
that's
this year.
the thing. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. He helped me win some championships, including that belt. But like you said, TJ Hawkinson hasn't been there. Swift has just been back. You know, he really wasn't involved last week. This is the first game that Swift was involved. So while I do think he's somebody, you know, everybody's saying sell high, sell high, sell high in Dynasty, I would say hang on to Amon-Ra St. Brown because he likely didn't cost you much in terms of draft capital or what you had to trade for him, unless you've traded for him in the last couple of weeks. And I think the upside of having him on your team versus just, you know, trading him away, I would rather hang on to him and see if he can continue. You know, he's not going to keep up this pace that he's had at the end of the year, but he can be a very serviceable wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 with, you know, potential for these big boom weeks. You know, Detroit is looking for playmakers, and he's turned it on. What do you guys think? Is Amon-Ra a sell high or a buy low or a hold? Well, not buy low. So sell high or hold?
Buy low.
Buy low.
I think if I had him, I don't think the perceived value is theirs yet. I don't think like
I don't think so
anyone's
either.
considering him like a top. I mean, like there are people out there saying it, but like in your casual dynasty league, I don't think you're going to get a big haul for Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I think he's a hold as well. I wouldn't want to trade him. I'm so excited about his value next year. This is the great question, right? I kind of love this question. I just did a video kind of about that. I had Elijah Moore ranked above Amon-Ra St. Brown. I still think I lean that way, but man, this is so tight that like the way he's ended the season, like I almost do want to put St. Brown above Elijah Moore, but I don't yet.
You do, but you don't.
I want to, but I'm not going to.
Still got to go Elijah Moore, but it's very close. It's a lot closer than it was a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
What about you, JL?
I think I might go Monroe St. Brown. I don't know. It is close.
Yeah.
I'll go Monroe St. Brown again to at least throw a nod his way.
Yeah.
By the way, the Lions they now have the number 2 pick of the draft, this upcoming draft.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what they do with that. It's not a great quarterback class, but who knows? I mean, Jared Goff didn't look horrible.
No, I got 2 more names for you: Amon-Ra St. Brown or Rondo Moore.
Amon-Ra St. Brown for sure.
What happened to Rondo Moore? Where's he been?
So, like, I think the concerns coming into the season for Rondo Moore kind of came to fruition a little bit, where it's like, what if he's just a gadget player with, like, he's not, like, on the field all the time? And I think it's kind of what it is. If you get the ball in his hands, he's an electric athlete. He's crazy good. He looks awesome. But I think maybe he doesn't do everything else incredibly well.
Yeah, 12.2% of the market share, target share, 12.2% of the target share on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the season.
And that team's going to spread out the ball. I mean, they found success doing that, and that's what they're going to do going forward. So that's going to be a concern for Rondo Moore. In his future, I think. So.
I would go Amon-Ra St. Brown over Rondo Moore.
Yes, me too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think I would as well. I would. Rondo Moore's stock would go up. Christian Kirk signs elsewhere. He is a free agent. We know. AJ Green isn't what he once was. He's getting up there in age. I don't even know. Was it a 1-year deal for AJ Green?
It might have been, actually. It might have been.
Close the tab. I'll find out for you.
Okay. But yeah, it was nice to see DeAndre Swift get back in the end zone. He's definitely in consideration for, within top 5 picks in pretty much all non-superflex formats going into next year. But on the other side of the ball, Aaron Rodgers looked great. He only played half, and he got 138 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. They are primed to make a deep run. AJ Dillon, 14 rushes, 63 yards. He's continued to really play well. Alan Lazard, who I do think is a free agent this upcoming offseason, 5 receptions, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Devontae Adams, again, didn't play. They pulled a lot of the starters. 6 catches, 55 yards. AJ Dillon is an interesting player. There was a lot of hype going into last offseason because Aaron Jones was a free agent, and a lot of people expected the Packers to not re-sign him because they drafted A.J. Dillon, a second-round pick, I think. So he's put up pretty solid numbers at the end of this year. When Aaron Jones got banged up, and even when he came back, they've continued to use Dillon. They really like the 1-2 punch. We saw it last year with Jamal Williams getting a lot of run. So A.J. Dillon, is he somebody you guys are interested in acquiring in Dynasty leagues? Or is he somebody that, we'll just leave it there. Is he somebody that you're interested in acquiring in Dynasty leagues?
Not really. Not really. I'm not going to pay up for him. And I don't think the team that has him is just going to give him away for anything less than a solid deal, and he's still going to have Aaron Jones there. Aaron Jones just signed, I believe, a 4-year contract coming into the season. So I don't know. I don't want the second running back on a team that might not have Aaron Rodgers.
It's fair. There's a lot of uncertainty there. By the way, AJ Green is on a 1-year contract. AJ Dillon, he is contracted until 2024, and then he's an unrestricted free agent. So he is
probably the same as Aaron Jones.
Yeah, next 2 years. Aaron Jones might have 1 more year on him.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to check. But yeah. I'm still interested in him. Josh brings up a great point. Is that I'm probably, even though I'm interested in him, I'm probably not going to be able to trade for him. I think people are probably going to want too much for what I would expect out of AJ Dillon. But I think he absolutely has value.
What this conversation tells me is, in my mind, he's actually a sell if you can get a decent haul. He's a sell for me.
I'm with you 100%. He's somebody I would be looking to capitalize on the play for unless Aaron Jones isn't in town, he's never going to have that value, and he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Money talks. So that's pretty much it for this game. This was another one that was exciting. It was great to see the Lions win, but Green Bay didn't play a whole game. So.
Yeah, exactly. But man, it was a high scoring game. It was fun. It was back and forth, and like you said, the Lions pulled it out. But we can get into our next game here. The Buffalo Bills beat up on the Jets.
like they tend to do. It was 27-10. They won by 17 points. 17 points. On the Jets side of the ball, Zach Wilson was not impressive, guys. He really wasn't. I mean, no one on the Jets side of the ball was necessarily impressive when it really comes down to it. A lot of their players, a lot of their starters, a lot of their assets that we love going forward were not playing in this game. But Michael Carter, he got 9 carries for 19 yards. You know what I've found out? The Jets have 5 rookies from this season. They have 5 rookies that I have in my top 5 at their position. So Zach Wilson, he'd be my and they might all be number 5 right now. So Zach Wilson, my number 5 rookie quarterback this season. Michael Carter, my number 5 rookie running back this season. And Elijah Moore, he's 4, or Amon-Ra St. Brown's 4, so he's 4 or 5, right?
Okay.
So do you agree with me there? Are they top 5 for you guys? I don't think it's really much of a debate. With Zach Wilson, it's either him or Davis Mills when it comes down to it. With Michael Carter, it's him or Ramondre Stevenson. So Zach Wilson or Davis Mills. Zach Wilson, guys, I think we said that earlier.
Yeah, Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I'd still take Zach Wilson.
So Michael Carter or Ramondre Stevenson.
As much as I love the Rhino, it's hard to trust a New England back. While I do, like we've talked about, I think it was last week, I like Harris and Stevenson both more than I would have New England backs in the past. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be a 1-2 punch next year, but I could see Carter really surprising some people next year. And that stretch where he was dominant, I could see him doing that a lot more next season. So I'm going to go Michael Carter.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to go Michael Carter as well. JL, what do you think?
This is close. I might go.
You're tempted, huh? You're tempted.
It's a conversation. It's definitely a conversation.
It's tough. He's in New England, so that.
But he's looked so good when if you told me Damian Harris wasn't there next year,
right?
I'd be all in on Ramondre Stevenson. Like the conversation would be him or Elijah Mitchell more. You know?
Yeah.
If you take Damian Harris out of the equation, but Damian Harris is part of the equation, and Michael Carter looks like he's primed to be the starter for the Jets next year, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It's the Jets, so you never know.
It's the Jets. The Patriots are going to have more rush attempts next season. I would be willing to make that bet 1,000 times over, right? So maybe by the end of the season, Ramondre Stevenson can still have the better season, but Michael Carter, I think, is a better pass catching weapon. So I'll lean Michael Carter there, but it's a conversation, like we said, right?
Yeah.
Elijah Moore, guys, just remember his name. Remember his name. He played really good when he was playing. He did not play this week. So on the Bill side of the ball, Josh Allen, he killed it. Devin Singletary continues to just be a dominant force in this backfield. Guys, going into next season, I'm sold. Like, he's really? A back and number 2 running back for me.
He's number 2 running back on the week. PPR.
Yeah. He's not the number 2 running back next season. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. Yeah. I mean, he's ran away with this job. Like next season, you think you're going to be drafting someone like Devin Singletary, or are you going to take a shot on someone like Travis Etienne just for a redraft next season?
Give me
Etienne. Yeah, Etienne. I like Singletary a lot more than I did. Singletary. I just don't trust. What's to say? We've seen this with the Bills before, where it looks like Singletary's the guy, and then
kind of
he was on the team. Yeah, but then they drafted Zach Moss after they already had him on the team. Mm-hmm. They signed Matt Breida after drafting Zach Moss. So if I knew he was going to get this type of workload, I'd feel much more comfortable with him as a back end RB2. But I don't trust the Bills to continue to give him this type of workload.
In my opinion, he won the job. Like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. His rookie season, like he kind of at the end, like in the end chunk middle, like they gave him the work and it looked like he was going to be the guy going into next season. I agree. Yeah. But then you're right. They signed Zach Moss, but I think they have realized now at this point that he's the guy. They've made that determination. And that's what I project going into next season.
I worry he might be a trap. I worry that he might be a trap, that he's been playing so well in the later half of this season that we're going to go into next season. Something's going to change. I'm with you, Josh. Like if he can continue playing this well, it's going to be hard to dispute that that's where he belongs as a running back too, because he's looked good. I don't trust Buffalo. I just don't.
And the only other thing I'll add in there too with Singletary is you've got Josh Allen, who is the goal line back. So you're going to lose touchdowns on the goal line to Josh Allen. The uncertainty. It's just
The
there's a lot.
ETN will be affected by that too.
I'll say this though, it's just like the offense is so powerful. He's linked to Josh Allen, and I'm not going to make that a negative.
Yes,
even though
that
he
is-
is the
it is
goal
a
line back. You're right. You're right. He's going to take away goal line carries, but I'm not. I'm gonna say it balances out. Because it's a
that's
good
fair.
offense, right?
That's fair.
All right.
We make the
I'm
same
glad it's
argument
fair.
for the Chiefs, right?
Not as much. Not as much because Patrick Mahomes doesn't run like Josh Allen runs.
No, but I think JL, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you're talking about like the trick plays that they'll run with like the sweeps with the wide receivers and stuff like that. Like they do a lot more creative stuff on the versus just going I formation, pound the rock on the.
What I more mean is like we make the argument that we want whoever is on the running back on the Chiefs offense because they're so high powered.
Yeah.
And so it's I'm saying it's
like
a
the
similar
Chiefs
argument
in
to what
that
you're
way.
making. Yes.
I follow.
So I understand. I thought you were saying like the Chiefs because Josh Allen is like Patrick Mahomes.
No. Just
we're on the same page now.
Since we make that argument for the Chiefs, we need to apply that also here.
Exactly. So I'll
That's
take.
fair.
So all in all, is what I'm saying is like I'll take Devin Singletary on his high-powered offense with Josh Allen stealing goal line touches compared to a bad offense like the Jaguars.
Right.
Is kind of what my argument would be, I guess.
That's fair. Fair.
But all in all, Devin Singletary, I think he's probably a back end number 2 running back for me going to next season. I understand though if he's more of a flex for people. Yeah, you're gonna be hesitant there.
Yep.
But I want to move on to our next game here, and we have the New Orleans Saints winning 30-20 in Atlanta against the Falcons. What do we think?
Yes. This was a game, guys. This was absolutely
a game.
It was a game.
Another one of those I picked in my pool. I can't wait to look at my pool. I think I'm doing really good.
Did you just get every single one right?
I didn't get every single one right, but I was in first place last time I checked. I'm gonna check. All
right. Yeah, so
I'm in first place right now. I'm tied with someone with 11 correct picks, and the next highest after that is 9. So it's looking good right now.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to the FanDuel sports book, they were giving the Saints 4.5 points. They were favored by 4.5 points going into this matchup. 40.5 over under. Oh my, there's some ESPN autoplay going on in my ears. The Saints won 30-20. Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian split time in this game. Alvin Kamara had a pretty good game, 30 carries for 146 yards, no touchdowns, but still, that's a good chunk of yardage.
That is a good chunk of yardage.
That is a
30
chunk
carries.
of yardage.
You like to see that?
That is very high. That might be the highest all week. I'm not sure. Not much really. I don't think to take away on the Saints side of this. They got ahead pretty early on. They scored 7 in the first quarter and 17 in the second quarter, and they just were able to keep that lead. I know the Falcons, this was a division game, they wanted to take down the Saints here, but they weren't able to. On the other side, the Atlanta side, Matt Ryan, he had 20 completions on 33 attempts, 216 yards, and 1 passing touchdown. He also had a turnover on interception. Cordero Patterson, not used again. Josh's theory is holding up that they're just limiting him going into next season. So let's keep an eye on that. I think this is, correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you guys agree or disagree. This is going to hurt Cordero Patterson's his ADP going into next season.
I'm going to probably have some Cordell Patterson on my redraft teams next season, just because I absolutely think you're correct. I think this has killed his value going into next season. I think people are going to see he's going to be he's 30 years old right now. We just don't see running backs and wide receivers like do this at 30, and people are going to use this narrative and be like, well, look at the end of the season, but I brought it up, like you said, JL, before. I was concerned because 4 weeks ago, the coaching staff came out and said they were going to want to limit his touches going forward. They didn't have a lot to play for, and I think they want to conserve him for next season. I think they're going to bring him back in, and they're going to make him a part of this offense. So I think he's going to be a value in drafts next year.
What do you think, Jay? How do you feel about Cordero Patterson?
Yeah, I completely agree with everything Josh said. Earlier in the season, if he would have continued to produce those type of numbers, I think his ADP would have been where I would have not touched him.
Yes.
But I think there's going to be enough people that think that it was just poor performance. But I agree with you, Josh. I think your theory is correct. For once, something that a coach said actually came true. They said they were going to pull back his workload, and they did. So if he's falling far enough, I do see, in some redraft leagues, I could see where he'd be on some of my teams. Only at a value. I'm not Not
Yes.
actively seeking him out, but if he falls to a value, then he's somebody that I could see on my teams as well.
Yeah, like
Howard
Albert
makes a
said,
good point
Patterson. Yeah, he's going to be a free agent going into this offseason. And so Josh is expecting them to
I think that was
re-sign
part
him.
of it, though. I think that was part of it. They were like, I think they went to him and they were like, listen, we want to like limit your workload. We want you ready for next season. Right. And I think they're like, our plan is to bring you back. Like, if you want to test the market, that's fine.
We
But
want
like,
you to
we're
be
prepared
cheap.
to offer you fair value.
Yeah,
Like, I think
gonna
it's just
say.
like part of the package that they're trying to
Right.
offer him. It's like, listen, we want you as part of our team, you know? So we're gonna take care of you, you know?
Yeah, if he continued to put up big numbers, then his cost would go up too. So it's a win-win.
Exactly. So I think that probably happened, and that's
Possible,
it's not a fact, but it makes a lot of sense to me. Everything lines up.
It's a tempting narrative for sure.
Inside information from Josh Fuster.
Yes, beat reporter Josh Fuster.
Yes.
I think the only other person really probably worth talking about on this Atlanta side is Russell Gage. He had 9 receptions on 13 targets, 126 yards, and a receiving touchdown. He had a pretty good week. Russell Gage, without knowing whether Calvin Ridley is coming back next season, what are you guys doing with Russell Gage? Has he shown you enough in the short time that he's been the guy here?
If Calvin Ridley's not there, Russell Gage, I'm excited for next season. Like, if Matt Ryan's there, when I say excited, he's not going to be a wide receiver 2 for me even, but I think he's going to be a rock solid flex play kind of deal.
Ooh, I like the rock solid in there, Josh.
You're probably going to be able to get a value on him because even without Calvin Ridley, I don't think people are going to be completely bought in to he's the guy.
Yeah, I'm with
Josh.
you. I'm not bought in.
Yep, I completely agree with if everything Josh said, and JL sounds like you agree. If Calvin Ridley isn't there, I wouldn't mind him as a wide receiver 3/flex play. If Ridley's back, I've got no interest.
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
Real fast to that point. I know it's risky, but I'm willing to try to talk to the Calvin Ridley manager and try to buy him low.
Yes.
Yep. I know it's risky. I just think that there could be a lot of managers out there that are freaking out. They're like, he's done. He's not coming back. And maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But
did you see the report that they want to Calvin Ridley and the Falcons are talking about going different ways? That to me tells me that he wants to continue to play. So I think I'm with you. I think he's definitely somebody that's worth going after.
No, absolutely. I'm right there with you, Josh.
We saw it on the field. What he's done on the field so far, everyone's been impressed. He was a top 5 dynasty wide receiver coming into this year, I believe, if not top 5, borderline top 5. And he's going to be nowhere close to that in most people's minds. And if he comes back, why doesn't he just go back into being in the top 10 conversation at the very least, right?
Yeah. I'm right there with you. That'll be crazy too when it happens. It'll be interesting to see how people draft him.
I see come here now in the chat. Should we do our Super Bowl picks real fast?
Well, that's the Supper Bowl. What are we having for Supper Bowl?
Supper Bowl. Oh, mashed potatoes. We can do Super Bowl picks real quick.
Let's do it.
We want to pick the winner or
let's do matchup and winner.
All right.
All right. I like it.
I'll say Chiefs, Packers, and I'll go Chiefs.
I like Chiefs, Packers a lot. Yeah. I'm JL. I hate you, but I'll go Packers. I'm gonna go Packers, Chiefs, Packers.
I'm going Titans, Rams, and I say the Titans.
Rams would be crazy.
So
all right, there it is.
So we got them. JL and I have the same matchup, and Jay is going. What was it? Rams, Titans.
Titans, Rams. Yeah.
I like it. I could see the Rams doing it.
Yeah,
I could see the Rams pulling it out.
All right.
I could see either one of those.
I mean, if you want, I can write it on my board.
I got you. Packers versus Chiefs.
The board has done pretty good so far.
It has. It's done as well. You went Rams who?
Titans.
Rams, Titans. And you went Titans. All right. I wrote that funny. And Mr. Scamper saying Packers, Titans, and you guys Packers. I like it.
All right, it's a mixture of all of ours, actually.
Yeah,
kind of a way.
Mashup.
Got the same losing team as Jay, the same winning team as me, one of the same teams as JL.
Yeah, I like it. A little bit of each of us.
And none of us will be anywhere close to right.
And I want to mention, last week we did do a horse bet. Do you remember what it was?
No.
We all did the same. We all picked the Packers minus 10 points, I believe.
And they won, right?
And they ended up covering the spread.
Okay.
And we said we would do the noise if we were all wrong.
Okay,
But,
so we were right.
We were all right, so no worries there. We did make it. No payouts needed.
Yes.
But I will write that on the board after our
Was that the only horse noise bet that we had for last week?
so.
It
Yeah.
was.
Okay,
It was.
good.
It was.
All right, I think that's going to do it for us. Sunday Night Football has started, so we want to make sure that we go enjoy that. We want to make sure you guys go and enjoy that. If you
watch all those kneels.
Watch all of those kneels, this firm tie we're about to get. If you haven't already, do me a favor. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button. Subscribe to FanDuel right here on YouTube. And if you're on Twitch, hit that follow button. FanDuel has tons of content creators across almost all of the sports. I'm sure there's some obscure sports they don't have, but let's be honest. They got most of the sports you care about. So make sure you go follow them on Twitter, TikTok, FanDuel. Go follow them on FanDuel. Follow FanDuel on FanDuel.
YouTube,
Twitch, everywhere.
Let's go.
That is going to do it for us today. We will be back on Friday for the Front Yard Fantasy Hour, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, playing some games. And then we'll probably be back next Sunday, too, talking some football.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well,
Thanks for coming in.